family.
I'm videoing for Aunt Jenny.
Good morning. Welcome to Riverside National Cemetery. Today's military honors will consist of the sounding of taps, followed by the folding and presentation of the flag to the next of kin. During the sounding of taps, you may place your hand over your heart. Any current or former military members, yeah, we have them. Please join us. Render one proper military hand salute to our departing sailor, Korean veteran. At this time, if you are able, please rise. Sound taps. Thank you. Please be seated. behalf of the President of the United States, United States Navy, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of appreciation for your father's honorable and faithful service. I like you, Dad. It's possible. God bless you. Thank you for your service, sir. And make yourself as much possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes final military honors. I'll turn it over to the family. On guard. Left. Base.
Get up. Say a couple words about Dad.
Dad is my hero. My hero. He was my measuring stick to who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I feel very blessed that they raised us in unconditional love, adopted our friends. They called me Mom and Dad. My dad taught me something that I've used my entire life. Whenever I get stitches, which was all the time. My dad in the emergency room would let me hold his thumb. And he gave me advice on how to use my brain to put myself somewhere else. My dad taught me a lot of things. They're too numerous to mention. I'm glad he's with Mom and that he's not suffering anymore. He's my hero, my daddy.
I wrote down some things. I'm going to try to get through this without coming apart. So just bear with me for a minute. As most of you know, my father was an extraordinary man. He owned and operated a successful business in Bellflower for some 40 years. Betty's Barbershop. What a lot of you don't know is in the 60s when the Beatles made long hair popular, a lot of barbers went out of business. Dad had to find a way to stay relevant during that time. So he attended classes by J.C. Ring, Vidal Sassoon, and he learned how to style men's hair, how to cut long hair, so he could stay in that profession and continue to provide for us. And because my father was self-employed, he didn't have a retirement program either. Didn't have a 401k to rely on. So he studied the stock market, invested wisely, and as a result was able to retire and have money to carry him through. I got my work ethic. Sorry. I got my work ethic from my father. Because he was self-employed, he couldn't stay home when he was sick because he didn't get paid. So when my father stayed home, you know he was really sick. My father had a lot of friends because of the type of person he was. One year during Christmas, he had hidden all of our presents at his shop, and the shop was broken into and all the presents were stolen. Well, he didn't have the money to go out and buy us all new presents again. They did the best they could. And on Christmas morning, my mom opened the front door and there was a box full of gifts there with an unsigned card saying Merry Christmas. And my father gave me a blueprint for how to be a man. And I'll miss him as a result. I thank him for all he did for me and for the family. He was a good man, and so was my mother. Thank you.
My name is Paul Elderman, Marty's husband. But before I was her husband, I was a member of the family since I was 15 years old. Then he took me in when my father pretty much abandoned me. And knowing that I loved his daughter, such an amazing man. He taught me more and about how to be a husband and father than my father would ever do. And I loved him dearly. I personally have never heard the man speak a mean word to me or anyone else. I love him dearly, and he will be missed. Thank you.
Corey Douglas, my grandpa was the greatest man alive. He brought so much joy and honor to all of us. He is, with Grandma, the most wonderful woman in the world. I know we all miss him, and her being selfish right now by crying. I don't give a damn. I miss him. I miss Grandma. But they were the two best people in the world. We gotta keep our family together. Please, let's keep the family going. He was a great man. He taught me a lot. Most of all, family is very important. So, in honor of Grandpa, let's keep the family. Her somebody came in and held him up by gunpoint. And when my father heard that, he said, Ron, you've got to quit. And Ron said, no, I'll be fine. So my dad went down every night with a gun and sat until a few days later, Ron quit. That's the kind of man and hero he is. Thank you.
And he would hate the fact that we're all sitting here crying.
Yeah, don't like people.
Grandpa Rob really isn't actually a grandpa to me, but he definitely showed me the kind of person who would always have his open arms and give me advice when I needed to. And that is definitely a hero that I will look up to for the rest of my life. And he will be truly missed by me in everyone.
My grandpa was very bright and intelligent man, very loving. Ever since I was little, I remember we used to do this little hand thing. It was our, I don't know, our thing, and then trying to get me to do a reverse and could never really get it. I'll love him and miss him so much, but comfort knowing that he's with my grandma now, and they're together. And I'm not saying goodbye, but see you again one day, Grandpa, and I love you, and we all miss you.
Can I get up and talk to God? Good. You're all done, Martha. A couple of months ago, my dad knew that I was having some health issues and that to cheer me up, Paul was down there for that day, and my dad gave him a pack of Triton gum to give me. But he said, you have to do it the way I tell you. Hold both hands behind your back and pick a hand. Because when my dad grocery shopped, because my mom didn't have a car, my dad always brought home 4 toys. Little toys, but they were our toys. And when my dad did that just a couple months ago, he wasn't just telling me to get better, he was telling me to continue tradition. Tradition is important in a family. This family does have traditions. I'm happy he's with Mom. And that they're together when he's no longer suffering. And I love him so much and I miss him. I thought after the SC game last Saturday, I thought, oh, I gotta call my dad. And it hit me, but I can't call him. He's a great man. He helped people. He was behind the scenes, helping people. Never did he seek any glory. He was just always there to help his friends, relatives, neighbors. Because that's
I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, Mom. You'll get up there again.
This is going to be as quick because I can't last long. I'm Barbara. I was Benny's daughter-in-law. And for the last 3 years, it was constant trips to the VA hospital. And we had a lot of serious discussions on the way there. He always was telling me how to drive. Anyone that rode with him knew that you knew exactly when to turn your blinker on and off. And he used to push my buttons, and I always called him Dad, and when he pushed too many buttons, I'd say, Benny, and it would stop. But whenever Dad spoke of his children, he had such a gleam in his baby blue eyes. He was so proud of each and every one of them. He loved all of his family. He loved his grandbabies, great-grandbabies, his son, his 3 daughters. He couldn't have been more proud. I want you guys to know that when things would get serious in our visits to the VA, he always wanted me, to say, go call the kids, tell them I'm doing okay. I always called the kids and told all you guys exactly what was happening. But he never wanted us to know how serious some of the things were. He knew this was him. He was burying all of us for a very long time. I didn't think Dad would last a year after Mom died. You know what? He fought for 10 years and held on for each and every one of us. That makes him my hero. And you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to keep every member of his family united. Because that's a promise I made. See, Grandpa, that no matter what, we'd stay a family, we'd all take care of each other, and we wouldn't drift apart. I want the cousins to know their cousins. And we're all going to live on. They're living on through us. And we got to remember that. He's going to be missed. He'll always be loved. Grandma and Grandpa are dancing in heaven. That's my one comforting thing. I can't talk more.
I'm Mandy. I'm Barbara and Ron's niece. Grandpa wasn't actually my grandpa, but he couldn't have been any closer. Couldn't have loved him anymore. I knew every year on my birthday to expect a phone call from him telling me that he loved me, and if he didn't get through the first time, he would before the day was over. I would talk to him, and I've never had a bad memory about Grandpa, and I'm so fond of that, and I truly miss him, and I hope one day I can see him again.
I know this is the third time.
Well, you're early. You're early.
We got 5 minutes, that's it.
Okay. When my dad served in the Navy, he fueled jets for the aircraft at Los Alamitos. While he was fueling jets at Los Alamitos, they didn't know that the fumes could be damaging to the human body. And at the age of 21 or 22, 21, so he was I know he was a newlywed. They had just gotten married. His lung collapsed the first time. It happened several times through the years where his lung collapsed. He would have been 83 yesterday, or he is 83 now.
We can all take comfort in the fact he's not suffering anymore, because towards the end it was he was really struggling to hang on. So he's not suffering anymore. That's the comfort we can all take with us.
I take comfort in the fact that he is with the most wonderful woman in the world, my mom. She loved him and is very happy that she has him.
Can I stay standing here? I'm a teacher and all, but I hate the idea of going up there.
Well, stirring.
Okay, good. I've been racking my brain, and you guys have hit everything. The football, the fingers. Whenever I needed advice, I knew that I could go to him, and he would never judge me. He would never say anything bad. When you were talking about the driving, I remember taking him somewhere, I forget where, and I'd be like, Grandpa, am I going too fast? And he's like, you're fine, keep going, it's okay. I'd stop as slow as I can. He'd be like, Lindsay, you can stop faster, it's okay. He'd always call me his little Lindsay, and always wanted me to sit next to him and tell him about my life and yell at me for being too liberal. but he is a man that every man that is ever going to come into my life, I'm going to hold them to that standard. My children, Brad, because he's perfect. So that's it. Okay.
Marty, don't get back up.
No, tie me down. Oh no, I'm just gonna take you out next time you stand up.
So we can all take comfort he's not suffering. Like I said towards the end, it was doing it for us. We can all take comfort from that. What?
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that-
gonna interrupt. You know, don't.
yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Sorry.
Danny wanted to say something.
Sorry, I know I'm Marty's daughter, however, I have major fear of talking in front of anyone. Not that you would expect it. And I always forget to say stuff, so I kind of wrote a little list. I was one of the younger grandkids. Steven was about 17 years older than me. James and I were born like almost a decade after most of the other grandkids. And brother. Sorry. For a week every summer, I'd go stay with my grandparents because my parents would be up at Girls Camp with my sisters, and I was too young to go. And I have a feeling Grandpa knew that I always was wanting to learn whatever my sisters knew or whatever my cousins knew, and I had a very short time to learn everything I knew. So he taught me how to play golf. I'm shaking, sorry. He taught me how to play football. He taught me how to do cards. And as I got older, when I started dating, I was dating people that obviously weren't appreciating me, and he knew that. He'd always tell me to appreciate myself and to wait. And so, when I first, after talking to him, people I would date, I would always make sure they could do that. And that was one of my telltale signs. they were like, why do you make me do this? And I'm like, just do it. He's given me so much my entire life. He's taught me so much. And Grandma died when I was 10. I didn't get to know her that well, and I really wish I could have. But I got to know Grandpa, which is a blessing that I'm so unbelievably grateful for. You know, the day he passed away, I didn't really think he was going to pass away. It was hard for him to talk. I told him I loved him about 4 times, and for the first 3 times he whispered it, like really low so you can hear it, but you can his lip. And I was walking out the door saying goodbye to him. I said, I love you. And he just said loudly, I love you.
one got any schmuck jokes? I'm making sure I get everyone. This is for the people who couldn't make it today.
Grandpa would want me to say that.
My name is James. I'm the son of Wonoff and the grandson of Benny. I did not expect to speak up here. I have a fear of public speaking, so unprepared. But I know it's not one thing that is we talk about us as the family side. We should stick together now. Yes, we lost a great man. He was my hero. I chose every moment I had with him. We should just stick together right now. We need each other when we put on that.
Thank you, James.
I think that concludes. Unless somebody else wants to come up, Marty wants to say something. I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, Dad went like us all crying like this. Love Brad. I take comfort in the fact he's not suffering. Let's just all appreciate each other and go on. Okay?
I love you.
Love you.
Can I stop recording now?
Yes.
This is the sweet time where everybody's gonna hug, do stuff like that.